Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jennifer. This is 13 Moons Lodge, and this is the reading for the actually second new moon in December. This new moon falls on the 30th of December, and it is the second new moon, as I mentioned, this month. So that makes it what is called a black moon. And this is also the moon that represents the beginning of a whole new cycle. So this new moon typically falls in January, but this year it falls in 2024. Now, the clan mother associated with this particular new moon is called Talks with Relations. And the teaching with this moon is about our interconnectedness, our connectedness with all of life on the planet and beyond, and how we're not separate from nature or each other. And it is about learning to listen, learning to remember that we can communicate with all beings, animal, plant, the moon, the sun, the stars. But we have to remember to listen and learn how each being communicates in their own unique way. It's a beautiful teaching. It reminds us that we're never alone, and we're surrounded by loving beings that are also having the experience of being alive on the planet, and that we can count on and connect with. So before I jump into this reading, I just want to touch on some threads of energy that I had picked up on before I started. So I just took a couple moments to sit and get some messages or just the energies that were prevalent in who might be watching this. So if you're watching this video, please know that you are meant to be here. There's going to be something in this reading for you. Okay, so the first thing that came through was worrywart. So this is a term that somebody is using, or somebody is using for themselves to describe themselves as a worrywart, or somebody they know. But I got more strongly that it was themselves. They're calling themselves a worrywart. I also perceive that there might be more than one person, but definitely someone watching this is feeling strongly called to step into a completely different path, but they're fearful of letting their parents down. So parents, some sort of authority figure. Might not be parents, it could be parents, but it could also just be an authority figure, someone you're afraid of disappointing. Another line of energy I picked up on was others are more internally focused at this time. So some of you watching this are going to be more internally focused. You're allowing yourself to be your inner self and the external world as well, to be more in the natural flow of nature. So being that in the Northern Hemisphere, it's winter, it is a natural time to turn our attention more inward. We're allowing ourselves to feel what needs to be felt in order to stand more firmly in our truth. And I had the number 17 is relevant for someone. And also that someone is talking or thinking about Valentine's Day. There's plans being laid. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. So I'm just going to jump into the reading. Our significator card is the 9 of Swords. And according to the rest of the cards in here, this feels to me like this is something we're letting go of. Oh, hold on. I'll be right back. My dog wants to go out for a pee. Sorry about that. I am back. Okay. So, so this particular card here, the 9 of Swords, This is something that we're moving away from. We're letting go of worries and doubts and fears, things that have been keeping us trapped, and we're aware of this. And it feels like we're letting them go. We're able to let them go right now. It feels like astrologically sorry, can't talk. Astrologically, I feel like we're supported in this. And also being that we're at the end of a major cycle here, we're at the end of the year, it's also, it just feels collectively like it's just time. There's a shift happening as we are ending one cycle and beginning another major cycle here. So as we are letting these go, we are coming into our life in a new way, almost like setting a new intention, but letting, instead of making choices or letting our fears lead us and hold us back, we are stepping beyond that. So we're stepping into this energy of, well, what's the best thing I can think of for myself, and what is it I feel called to, what will bring me happiness. And this to me feels like this is how we're stepping into the new year 2025 and this new cycle. So it's coming in with a different intention, one from it's like a higher timeline or a future version of ourselves in the highest timeline possible. It's like reaching back, and we're connecting with it, and that's what's pulling us forward. And following that, we have the 7 of Pentacles. And this just really feels to me like we are taking into account here, as we're ending out the cycle, our experiences, our lessons, how far we have come. And then we're taking these with us, the lessons, all the positive things that we can, in order to feel more confident and secure, and in a way, trusting ourselves more, reminding ourselves that look at how far I have come, look what I have accomplished, the lessons, the goals I've achieved, whatever it might be. And it might be all those things, and how we are going to only choose the positive things to take with us, and anything we deem as negative, that might hold us back, we're letting these go. So this row is being clarified by Woodwives, adaptability. And this card is actually indicating how we are allowing ourselves to, we're recognizing that there's opportunities coming, there's opportunities in the new year. And we also recognize that we can only be open to the opportunities, to recognize the opportunities waiting for us, by letting go of these limiting thoughts, because it's the limitations we place on ourselves that holds us back. It's only ourselves that get in our way. So by letting those go, we become more adaptable and more intuitive in recognizing where we need to move to the path or the opportunity, and saying yes a lot more, and trusting that even though we might not know how it's all going to work out, it feels good, and that's a good enough reason to choose it. And so it's also about being grounded at this time as well. So staying grounded in the body, because that's when we know who we are, and we know what our boundaries are, and we can use more discernment in what is going to serve us in the highest way possible. So there is no struggle in choosing one versus another. And it might be a matter of stepping outside that black or white scenario, which is a limiting way of looking at things, and looking at it from a broader perspective as well. But yeah, this card is just indicating opportunities coming our way. Really, really positive card, but just the need to stay grounded in the body, so that we can easily recognize what is for our highest path. So the second row here, we have the 4 of Wands. And this to me feels like a coming into this time and this cycle where we are feeling a lot more balanced in our lives, in our body. We're making decisions that support our well-being. And again, letting go of beliefs, of coping strategies. These might even be things related to habits. So habits, things that we have leaned on to that might not be in our highest, might not be really helpful or healthy, but they became a way of distracting ourselves or coping with situations in our lives. And we're recognizing these, and it feels like we're adjusting, we're fine tuning, and we're getting rid of them. So again, whether these are beliefs or habits, but even beliefs can be a habitual way of thinking, right? So next we have the Chariot. This is in the middle of the reading. So this is telling me that we are taking control of our lives in new ways. So that's part of the reason why we're letting go of limiting ways of being and habits, thoughts, addictions, coping strategies that aren't life affirming. Because we have this, there's this awareness that it's really up to us. And in our limited time in this body, how we're going to use our time here. So are we going to keep wasting it and keeping ourselves limited and living through the filter of fear? In which case, is that really living our life? Is it living to our fullest potential? No, it's not. So it's changing our path, changing our life, taking the reins, taking control. And this does mean changing. It could be a change of location. If we're being called to go somewhere, it means that we might be making a move. This can also be a change in what we're doing for a living, a change in who we are hanging out with, who are we spending our time with, because these are all parts, all aspects that will affect us, affect our well-being. So following that, we have the Page of Cups. So again, it's like we are stepping into this energy of wanting better for ourselves, wanting easier life in, not that easy is maybe not the right term, but just more peaceful, less confusion. And so again, it is all part of that greater landscape, that greater evolution that we are shifting from living and choosing from our minds and the thoughts and all those limitations into the heart space. So the truth, our truth, coming from that perspective. So this row is being clarified by the 7th house, partners. And it's a numerology speaking, this is it's 31, which would be a 4. So we have the 4 of Wands under that. So this is about balance. This card itself is under the astrological sign of Libra. So it is about balance. But this is about, this can be legal implications, things winding up. This is about fairness, bringing fairness, balance into our lives. This can be also about changing relationships, changing the fundamental underlying essence of a relationship, leveling it up or cutting it out of our lives altogether. And it can also be about meeting new people and people that are going to help lead us into areas that we want to go in our life, ways of being. So it can also be about learning new ways, stepping outside of what we have got, everything that we have done and learned up to this point. Now we're reaching beyond and we're moving into the next level as well. So the final row here, we are starting with the King of Wands. Now this guy here, this is more of an energy, and this is just an energy to me of, it feels like an idealism. This is kind of that, I really want this. And there's like this determination and this single focus towards it. I feel like this is a really positive card for us because it just feels like there's this energy of stepping onto this path and not allowing ourselves to be sidelined or distracted or wavering in doubt, self-doubt. It's about being we're stepping into this self-assuredness and confidence in who we are and where we're going and who we want to be. This is what we are moving into. And I know I just said that, and I'm saying that again, just because underneath that card, we have the 5 of Wands. So although this is what we're moving into, it's not, it's not like a step and boom, we're in this confidence and self-assuredness. The doubt is going to creep in. We're gonna go waver back and forth. We're wavering back and forth. This is where we're moving to, though, and we're gonna have moments where we're feeling very much confident in who we are, where we're going, what we're doing. But this one here is this is when the doubt slips in. These are the challenging moments. So just have awareness of that. Don't allow these moments of confusion or getting distracted or allowing something outside of us to question our path. When that happens, just remind yourself that it's just a moment, and it's okay to feel that, but remember the big picture here. There's a bigger picture. Just step outside of the little you, the ego, because it's going to be the ego that it's that old habit of coming in and self-criticizing and second-guessing yourself. It's just a habit of the mind. So just step outside of that, step into a broader view and look at the bigger picture here, where we're going. So the final card, actually we got 2 cards here. We have the 9 of Cups and then the 10 of Wands that came out together. So this is again representing the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. Falls in line perfectly with this being a new moon, representing a new cycle, a very positive cycle, and for a lot of us, and the end of this current one, so 2024. Wow. So overall, with this 9 of Cups representing the end of the cycle that we're coming to, there is a sense of completion, I think, for a lot of us. We're sensing this in our lives in a lot of ways. But in that sense of completion, we're also beginning to dream about what it is that we want to create. And remember I said earlier, we want things to be easier, but then I caught myself on that because that didn't really feel correct. But this card brings me back to that word again, bringing life easier. And I corrected it saying more peace. In a way, yes, but we're streamlining and we are recognizing what we don't need to carry forward with us in the new cycle, because we've been carrying a lot and we've been burdening ourselves. So this can be with busyness, distractions, coping, addictions, habits that are not life affirming. They're keeping us, well, I think distracted is probably the best word. There was more I was going to say with that. So we're letting go. Oh, thought forms, the worrying. So we're stepping outside of that. So we're at this point where we are almost ready to let go of a lot of extra baggage, really, and leaving it in the past, which is telling me what we're doing is we're going to be living in more present state, leaving the past where it is, and just taking all the positive aspects, experiences, lessons. But the emotional part, yeah, we're letting go of the emotions, the ones that get trapped in the body, and we're just coming forward with more truth. We're moving into the future with more truth, more lightness in our hearts, in our bodies. So this is where we're moving. This row is being clarified by what is already with you. And I'm loving this card with the little butterflies of transformation and what is already with us. So this is just about unburdening ourselves with what actually isn't us. These are we're unburdening ourselves with. There's the, you know, the burdens there, all the 10 wands. We're putting these down because we're recognizing they're not our truth. These are aspects we have adopted, believing that they were a part of us, they're who we are, but they're not. I'm trying to find the words. We, again, adopted or believed that we needed to live from that truth in order to, for whatever reason. And it could be, you know, because our parents believe them, and these aren't even aspect, you know, parents or society or wherever we adopted them from, but or something somebody said to you from their own perspective they were projecting onto you, but we accepted it as a truth about who we are. Anyways, all that stuff, we are leaving it behind, and we're just, like I said, we're stepping into this lighter version of ourselves because we're leaving a lot of that in the dust, and recognizing it is not actually who we are. So if you think of it in layers of an onion, I'm just thinking of Catherine, one of my beautiful mentors, that, you know, it's just we're peeling off the layers and we're just getting to the core, the truth, like an onion. So yeah, a beautiful reading of transformation, and the ending of this one cycle as we step into this new year. So thank you so much for being here. And I want to wish you all a very happy new year. And I'm sending you blessings for peace and abundance, and remembering who you are. Again, remembering that new moon talks with relations. I'm actually going to release this video on the 29th in the morning. So if you are interested in joining us this evening at 6 o'clock Pacific time, just send me a message and I will send you a link. You can join us for our new moon gathering online. It's the very first one where I will discuss more of the teachings around this moon talks with relations. And there's going to be a guided meditation and some journal prompting, and just a way of really embodying our inner selves, the teachings, and as we step into this new cycle. So I think it's going to be a beautiful gathering, and everyone is welcome. And this will be done every month in alignment with each new moon and each clan mother teaching. So yeah, I hope to see you there. But otherwise, I will see you in 2 weeks for the full moon reading. And then after that, 2 weeks after that, it'll be another new moon. And that clan mother teaching is Wisdom Keepers. So I guess I will see you in 2 weeks if I don't see you at the new moon gathering. So please be well. Again, Happy New Year, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.